Yo, what is up, everyone? Abigori here. Today, I'm back here for another banging video. So we are here of day 2 of the consistent upload schedule, and today we're talking about Mandy Rose. So this is a person that I haven't brought up in a very long time, and the last time I made a video on her was I think when she got released from WWE. So what, like 2.5 years ago? Dang, bro. Yeah. So it's been a while, Mandy. It has been a while. It's been a little bit, huh? Yeah, let's catch up right now. So, some people brought up to me about the fact that Mandy Rose considers herself as a double champion when she was in NXT when they had that unification match um at Worlds Collide in 2022. And she's upset at the fact that they saw that they said that Stephanie Valkyr was the first women's double champion and not Mandy Rose. But here's what you need to understand, Mandy. Yes, you held up two titles, yes. But that was strictly a unification match. Do you not know what that means, Mandy? Do you not know? You combining both of the titles together. So that means, either one of the titles is gone or is into one title now. That's what it is. And for Stephanie Valkyr, she's holding two different championships and reigning as those championships right now. That's what Stephanie Valkyr is doing. Mandy, you had never done that. You just took those titles and just held them up, you know, like it was nothing, bro. Because NXT UK was going away anyway. So it's not like there was anything, other to, what I'm saying, to other this show. Like Braun Breaker, he held the NXT and the NXT UK champion. He wasn't a double champion. Carmelo Hayes was a double champion. He held the Cruiserweight title with the North American title. The Usos wasn't double champions. Because they became undisputed tag team champions. That was just one title now. Roman Reigns became undisputed champion. That was into one title now because people kept saying, "Oh, we had to find a way to take one of the belts off of Roman." You couldn't do that because the titles was already unified. You couldn't do that. It was already one title now. So the only solution was to introduce a new title, which Triple H eventually ended up doing. Like that's what you have to understand, bro. Like, come on, bro. The only double champion we could think of was Keith Lee. Keith Lee, when he held the NXT and the North American title up. And he could be a double champion, just being a tag team champion or just being the mid card champion or the world champion, like Seth Rollins did a couple times. So there you have it. And also for Randy Orton, he was undisputed champion before it became to the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. When he beat John Cena in that match, to unify the titles. Chris Jericho was undisputed champion. Y'all remember that? Like the whole point I'm trying to get here is, Maddie, you was not. They didn't consider you a double champion because both of the titles was not on the line for the reign to continue for both of those title reigns. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, if it was just regular title for title match, like winner take all match, that would have been understandable. But since it was a unification match, no, it's not understandable. Because you gotta take a look at the history and just take a look at what happened, in the past before you could even say that. You know what I'm saying? Seth Rollins was world champion and US champion at once. That was a double champion because that was not unified. It was just a regular, winner take all match. That's what you gotta look at for the statistics. And I like Mandy Rose. I believe she was very talented in NXT, and she had a cool NXT title reign. But I'm just trying to come at her at here because she's over here being delusional, and she's over here saying all this stupid stuff about not being recognized as a double champion. Like, you coming on here and you're saying that, oh, why is Stephanie Vodker being mentioned and I'm not being mentioned? I mean, you did this to yourself, Mandy. You did this to yourself because you pretty much chose porn over wrestling. And I know you said, like, you're making way more money now than you did at WWE and whatever you said about that stuff like that. But you chose porn over WWE. So that's your own fault. So that's why they're basically erasing you from history. I mean, they've been doing that for a while. They've been doing that for a while. They've been erasing people from history and they don't show the old people like that anymore. I mean, yeah, they mention them from time to time, but, you know, they have to move on, bro. When was the last time John Moxley was mentioned on TV? On WWE? Chris Benoit was never mentioned again after the stuff he did. CM Punk was never mentioned. When he walked out. And also Mercedes was never mentioned, as she was never shown again because she wanted to walk out. And same thing for Naomi when she walked out, but she came back and Mercedes wanted to do her little thing because we all know how Mercedes is. But yeah, the thing I'm trying to get her is, Mandy, look, don't try to come at WWE for this, bro. Please don't, because like I said, you did this to yourself. You literally had all the time you had, to be the NXT Women's Champion. Like I said, you had a great reign. I really like your reign. But at the same time, you did not hold two titles up. It was a unification match, bro. Like, get over yourselves. But yeah, man, that's pretty much all I gotta say about this, man. I ain't really want to make a very long video here. Comment down below what y'all think about this topic as always. I'll see y'all boys in the next video. Peace.